there's absolutely no way Liverpool have gone, well, he turned us down, we're not interested anymore. But what position would you sign a player for in January? If you could name a target, all the better. I'm absolutely putting you on the spot because I probably can't name anyone. But go on, Beth, we'll start with you. Position. You can start with position. I'll let you have a think about target.
If the option was available, I'd go back in for Zubimendi.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not saying that to replace Gravenberch at all, but I think Gravenberch has got to the point where he's already arguably Liverpool's, probably alongside Van Dijk, Liverpool's most important player, in the sense that I don't think there's anyone in the team that can do what he does, and therefore I think, he can't play every single game between now and the end of the season.
It's incredible to think that, by the way, after 9 games,
yeah.
You're just saying that he could be Liverpool's most important player.
But because I just think he's quite unique, quite a unique profile, and I think already, sort of, even with Harvey Elliott being out, Liverpool's midfield options have looked a little bit light at times, and I think, obviously can use Endo a little bit more than he has done. Jones is coming back to fitness now. Harvey hopefully will be back soon, but I just think there may be one midfielder light, and I think if you brought, he's not signed a contract yet, Zubimendi, and I've seen a few people say that his bridges are burnt and they wouldn't go back in for him. I think the messaging coming out of the club isn't that that's the case, and I also think, especially as well with City potentially looking for someone in that area in January with Rodri's injury, it would make no sense to sort of let him go to a rival if you still want him and he was willing to come just for the sake of a little bit of pride. So I'm not saying Liverpool are interested in him, but I just think if that option was still there, then that's probably one that I'd revisit.
Yeah, Kiva?
Yeah, I think I would look at midfield, but just for the sake to make a difference, I'd probably go left back, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure who, but it's a position where I just think maybe Liverpool...
Rory?
Yeah, he's done well, hasn't he? He's always a kind of a threat for Wolves, and he's a nice player on the eyes, and he's good going forward, can get across in the box. But I just think that left back position is kind of slowly creeping up on Liverpool. Obviously, Robertson's not the player he once was, and which is obviously no disrespect to him at all. Obviously, that's just age and injuries. I think I've just caught up with him, and then I think Tsimikas, he's always... I think against Palace, we saw the good and the bad of Tsimikas. He made a really good kind of pre-assist for Jota's goal into a really good ball. But then at times I think he gets caught high and wide too often, and sometimes his position, I just don't think he's a reliable option that Liverpool need if they are going to be competing for the absolute biggest trophies. So I think, and it's such a hard position to buy for, isn't it, a rotational left back, because you're trying to say to someone you're probably going to be only getting 10 starts a season, you're going to be playing second fiddle, whatever. But I think left back, and as you say, Nuri, someone who knows the league, has done well, has kind of had that step at a lower Premier League club. Could be someone.
Yeah.
I do think Calafiori could go on to be a player that Liverpool sort of, you look back and you think Liverpool should have maybe really gone for him. I think they got him for a relatively decent price, and he's young, he can play left back, he can play in central defence. I think both of those positions need strengthening for Liverpool going forward, and I think...
we know that was a position they did look at with Colwill.
Yeah, definitely, and so I just think his profile and the price he was available for, the fact he's gone to a direct rival, maybe Liverpool have missed out a bit on one there.
If you listen to this, by the way, on YouTube, and you want to drop who you think they should sign in the comments, I'm very intrigued to know.
What's your answer?
My answer, it's hard to name.
Andy Carroll.
Andy Carroll, yeah. I've said a lot of times when they signed Andy Carroll, I thought they'd got the next year. I'm definitely going to try and get to Bordeaux to see him at some point in the next year. But I don't know. Yeah, central defence, I have concerns over. I think Konate does get injuries, and obviously Quansah's come in and done really, really well. But we've seen how quickly that area can get quite thin. I think so far, they lost Matip in the summer. They had 4 centre halves there. I know they've got Gomez, but manager doesn't seem to quite like him. Yeah. And I just feel like that could be an area which eventually catches up to Liverpool if they don't strengthen it. The same goes for midfield. Again, Gravenberch playing very, very well, has become very, very important. I'm really, really impressed by him. But you don't know whether that form is going to last, and you don't know whether one of those players gets an injury and suddenly, like you said, Beth, you look very, very thin there. I think left back is a more long-term one. I think that's something next summer maybe you could look at. I actually think there's an argument, say Tsimikas is one of the cleverest signings Liverpool have made.
Oh no, I think he's done well.
He's done very, very well.
I just think he's got to that point now where he probably wants to move on. It's such a hard position to say to someone for 6-7 years, go and play 10 games a season or whatever. He had he was unfortunate in the winter, wasn't he, last year when Robertson got injured, and then he kind of so quickly got injured as well. But I just think it's a kind of position and a department and a role as well that you need to kind of freshen up.
Yeah. Oh no, I think you can be a reserve too long. I think he has been a reserve at Liverpool now since 2020 when he joined, and I think I can't really see him eventually being Robertson's successor. I think he was an alternative, and that's what he will stay. I think he's been great. I actually think he's had moments, but he's never really let Liverpool down. He's a really good crosser of the ball. He's fitted into the style of play very, very well. He's been available mostly when needed, so he's been great. I do like Aït-Nouri. I've seen him a couple of times. I can't say I'm someone now who watches loads and loads of football. Life doesn't allow for it, but Zubimendi, a few times I've seen him play, he's looked good. And I like you, Beth, I think there's absolutely no way Liverpool have gone, well, he turned us down, we're not interested anymore. I'm pretty sure that was a very civil conversation between, by all accounts, he rang Richard Hughes personally to talk to him. So I can imagine that was a very, very civil conversation. If that did, I can't see that being resurrected in January, just because surely he can't be that. He can't U-turn that quickly.
Yeah.
He knew what he was getting himself into by staying, didn't he?
I just think it's interesting he's not signed a new contract yet, because it sort of felt like at the time that was going to be imminent. And
it's one or the other, isn't it?
Yeah,
you kind of get your big move or you stay and kind of commit your next.
That would be quite easy, having decided to stay there, for him to thrash out a new contract. So the fact he's not done that, and the fact that they've started so poorly, probably worse than he would have anticipated. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think it will happen, but I just...
Oh no, I think if there was a chance that it could happen, I suspect Liverpool will probably make that happen. And I definitely think they need cover in that area.
Even that, it frees up Gravenberch to play a bit further forward as well, doesn't it? You're almost getting two bodies in one then, aren't you? So
And Gravenberch is a different type of player, isn't he? Let's face it. What's been most impressive about Gravenberch, I think, is his ability to sort of nick in ahead of people, to use his long legs to cover ground. He does use the ball very well, but I actually think could see Zubimendi sitting in for the McAllister role at times, and it gives Liverpool different options in different games. So those two in left back, and then obviously I think longer term there's a decision to be made on Núñez, and obviously the 3 contracts will probably shape next summer's business, won't they? If 1 or 3 of them stay, then you probably see a very different summer to the ones that they leave. So it's going to be fascinating. Richard Hughes is going to be a busy man either way, isn't he? So, I can't imagine, I know we say this every summer, we'll probably get accused to say it again, but I can't imagine next summer being a quiet one either way because of what's going on.
There'll be new signings. So.
Yeah.